Well, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome tonight's guest to this expert interview series. Tonight I have Allison Maslan, scaling expert, CEO of the Pinnacle Global Network, was recently named one of the 10 women entrepreneurs to watch in 2023 by Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal best-selling author of this book, Scale or Fail. Welcome, Allison.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. And you've got my book.
I got this book after we met, and we met, of course, at our event earlier in the year. I bought this
Mm.
straight away, and I actually loved it so much. I insisted my business partner bought it as well.
That's so good. Thank you.
So I obviously missed out a lot of accolades. You've done a lot over your career so far. And for anyone who hasn't come across you or read your book yet, do you want to give a little introduction?
Sure. Thank you. First of all, I'm excited to be here. I really enjoyed being part of your event earlier in the year. And I have been an entrepreneur over 40 years, and I can't believe so much time has gone by. But I started my first business when I was 19. I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family and honestly just couldn't hold a job for more than 2 weeks. So I had to figure out this business thing. And I kind of went through a lot of my hard knocks in that early company. I thought, like a lot of business owners do when they run their company, that they have to have their hands in everything. And so, even though I had a small team, I was working 24/7 and I was a bit of a control freak, again, like a lot of business owners are. And I ended up really just imploding from the exhaustion and the stress of everything. And my daughter was really little at the time. So I was being pulled in a million directions. And so that business, I ended up having a car accident from the stress of everything. And it was a miracle that I survived. And so that was the universe just right in my face, giving me that wake up call to say, how badly do you want this? And is this the way you want to live your life? And so luckily that happened to me early on because it helped me to really position my life in a completely different way. I began studying many of my clients like Ben and Jerry's and Supercuts and Charlotte Russe and Allstate to see how did they have thousands of employees, but you didn't see the business owner like an orchestra leader standing over everybody and telling them what to do. They were out putting together great mergers and acquisitions and building these powerful relationships. They were not buried in the weeds. So that became my mission early on. And then I went on to build 9 more companies that did not depend on me. They were scalable models, they were team managed companies. And so this last, my 10th company, I've been running for 16 years coming up here will be 16 years. And we have a team of 40 mentors that help our clients, CEOs all over the world to grow and scale their companies in a way that gives them the freedom to have a team managed company, to be the visionary CEO focused on the future of the business, not in the weeds.
I love it. Incredibly eloquent. And you said something right at the beginning, which just made a lot of sense, which was about you being stuck in the business and doing every job, wearing every hat, getting your hands into everything. And it's just not possible, is it? You can't continue that forever.
No, and we do it in the beginning because in the startup phase, it is you and or you and a partner. And I believe that it's because we are creatures of habit. We're so used to doing that way because that's how we started. And in the early days, you are kind of flying by the seat of your pants. You're making it up along the way. But as you grow, you have to have a system behind what you do. You have to restructure your business at this higher level.
Mhm.
It's that saying, what got you here will not get you there. And what you think is helping by holding on so tightly is actually choking the growth of your company.
Yeah, absolutely. Our business really didn't start to grow until I started hiring people better than me and putting them in the right positions. Before then, I kind of had this thought that I could learn everything, and I should know everything.
Yeah.
Um, but you can't do it. There's like a point where you just can't take in anymore.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, there are pieces of my company you do not want me behind the helm of that because I would not know what to do. And like you said, you want to surround yourself with people that is their genius because they're going to be able to really focus on that piece of your business so that it can soar.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned as well, the purpose of the visionary leader is to build that vision from kind of the ground up, I guess. And you talk about that in the
Yes.
book. It's kind of starting with that goal.
Yes. And it's not just building the vision, it's living the vision. We often have this idea of, okay, December, January, let's build the vision for this next year and determine where we're going. And then let's motivate the team. Let's get them excited about the goals and what you see in your mind's eye. But it's actually the vision that you need to live in every meeting that happens with your company. Uh, that's your role. You should be just glowing in your vision to the point that as you grow and you start building more of a leadership team, then they are the visionaries of the company as well. They can really cast that vision for the people that are working with them on their team as your company starts to grow even more. Because if it's just you that's touting the vision from the top of the mountaintop, it's not, you're still kind of pulling people along. It really, that vision you've got to have galvanizers within your company. And so that the vision and the values become so entrenched in the company that it's like you're there even when you're not there.
Yeah, I love that. And what tips and tricks and things have you found along the way to find those galvanizers? Like, is there like a secret source, a way to find them?
Yeah. So, and we are, this is what we help our clients do in Pinnacle Global Network is to build that whole framework to help business owners to scale their company. And a big part of that is having those A players on the team. So, first of all, you need to make sure that you're not settling and think about the people that are on your team right now. I mean, we care about our people. And that is why oftentimes having the wrong people off the team is just as important to getting the right people on the team. But it's often hard when we think, well, but they're a good person and I know they're working so hard and they did help us to get here. And I'm just hoping that things are going to change. And you really hold yourself back. And it's actually not fair for them either, because in generally, if you're frustrated, then they're frustrated and it's just not a match. And so, um, to attract, so to first, you've got to set the boundary for yourself and just make that decision that you are not settling, that you need superstars on the team. If you're going to go to the Super Bowl, um, which we do here in the States, if you're going to go to the Super Bowl, you need to have A players on the team. You can't have B players. You can't have C players. You will not win. And so when you are bringing and attracting those leaders on the team, you want to lead with culture. You want to lead with vision. When people post a job posting, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are looking at that, or other positions that are similar to what you are offering. And when people are looking for a position, especially these superstars, they are looking for a new home. They are looking for a place to live. They are going to spend more time with you in most cases than they are even with their family. And so when you're leading with what you stand for, what your mission is about, why you're so passionate about what you do, what's the energy like within the team, that is so much more attractive than the actual role and the specifics on that. Although those things are obviously critically important, when you can capture people's attention with the emotion, the passion behind what your company stands for, you're going to start attracting people right off the bat that are like, I care about that too. I have that passion too. I want to make a difference like that too. And you start getting people that are already aligned before they even get started.
I love it. Yeah. Certainly, when we were starting out, we were guilty of putting people into positions just because they were there. So a space would pop up and we go, oh, we've got someone over there, let's put them in. We'd have
Yeah.
round pegs in square holes, and also they say. And we did that a number of times until we realized that that really wasn't working.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of businesses make that mistake. I did as well. And sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm out of bandwidth and we're just so stretched and we just need someone. And then you interview them and you're like, yeah, you're hired. And so the other thing too is you've got to have people really show you how determined, how committed they are. And if you hire someone with the first interview like that, even if you feel like, oh my gosh, this is the person I've been looking for, you don't want to hire them immediately. They've got to put some effort into it. And you want to have other people also interview them as well, because sometimes we want this so badly. We're so desperate for this hire that we don't look at the red flags. We do it in relationships, right? How many times have any of you that are listening, you knew in your heart that maybe someone wasn't the right match for you, but you wanted it to work so badly that you're like, oh, I can change them, and we know how that goes.
Mhm.
So it's important to get other perspectives, on these important positions for your company. And it's better that you take a little bit longer to have the right match, because if you bring the wrong person on, then that's going to set you back sometimes months or even more from getting work done or missing out on great opportunities for your company.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you still get involved in the hiring process?
I only get involved in the hiring process if it is a leadership position for our company. And so I don't. It's kind of funny because I'm not involved in most of the meetings that are happening except for our leadership meeting that I get on every 2 weeks. Um, but if I get on to, we have 40 mentors on our team that have all built really successful companies that work with our clients. And some of them have taken companies public, or, they've had international companies. These are really smart individuals. And so they all get together every Wednesday for 2 hours and they brainstorm together for our clients, different strategies. They bring things to the table. And so sometimes I will jump on there and I just absolutely love these people. But then I'll notice there's people on there I've not met them before. I'm like, who is this person? As the company grows, it's kind of odd because in the early days, everybody and about their family, their kids and all of that. So as it grows, there's no way that you can get your arms around all of that. But I trust my leadership team so much. They've got it. they've got it handled. They're going to bring the right people on the team. And, it's exciting to see it grow.
Yeah, definitely. We got to a stage in our business where I actually was banned from interviewing people because I like everybody, and I'm like, do you know what? We'll find a role for them. Like they're great. And in the end, like I got banned from interviewing people.
Yeah, it's just some people are better at it than others, and especially letting go of people, that's really hard. And um, you want the best for people. So yeah, you've got to really trust your team. But it's exciting when you do, because when you empower your team and you're not micromanaging, they bring their brilliance to the table. And oftentimes, if you are too controlling and you feel like you've got to have your eyes on everything, then your team stops bringing ideas to you, because in their mind, they think, well, you're going to just shoot it down anyway, or you don't really trust me. So I'm therefore not going to do it. And you just miss out, because most people have incredible gifts that you're not able to access because you feel like you've got to be the one to make all those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the interesting benefits of growing through acquisition we found over the years is we've acquired great people. And typically isn't the person you expect. There's always someone at the back of the room that's like, I've been raising my hand for ages and nobody listens to me, but I've got ideas. And we've found some absolute superstars over the years, and they've been there a long time, but nobody's listened.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have some shining stars on your team that you can see great leadership qualities within them. And to help them to see a path forward of what they can grow into is very inspiring for them. And these are people that like to be part of a company that's really going somewhere, that they can access their talents. We've had many people on our team that started out and they were pretty young when they started, but we really saw those qualities in them. And, they're doing incredible things and are highly respected within our company. And we've seen that many times with our clients. So sometimes it's growing people within. And then it's other times, especially as you're scaling and for those top leadership positions, you may want to bring someone in or people in that have already scaled up a company to whatever the level is that you want to take your business to. So they're able to bring that experience to the table. And I think both are viable. I think it's important, definitely, to have people that have been with you. They know the culture. They are huge fans. They're so dedicated. And then you have other people that come in that have new eyes and a fresh perspective of maybe doing things differently, giving you an opportunity to capitalize on new opportunities that you didn't think of because you've been doing it the same old way for a long time.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? Like, does one of those work better than another?
I don't think so.
Promoting within,
Yeah,
or
I don't think so. I think they both work really well. I wouldn't just do one or the other. Like, for instance, I wouldn't just want to get rid of all my people and only bring in people externally. But I do feel, like I said, for some of those leadership positions, like for instance, let's say that customer service is a huge part of your business and you want to increase your retention by 15, 20%. You may want to get somebody that's really top in hospitality, like that is their wheelhouse. Like maybe they were the head of hospitality at, um, a top hotel chain, right? Where they were really trained well to deal with high level customers. So that's just an example. So you are going to be able to have the advantage that this person has had world-class training. Now you need to just make sure that they are really understanding your culture, your method, your way, your product, your service, your customer, and all of those things. But in most cases, they translate well.
Yeah, brilliant. And you mentioned in the book as well that it's easier to scale a business to 50 million than it is to 5. Um,
Mhm.
let's unpack that a little bit because I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that are thinking, really? Like, how?
Yeah, I know. If you would have said that to me in my earlier days, I would have said, what are you smoking? Like, how could that possibly be? Because, in those earlier days, it feels like it takes forever just to cross that $1 million mark. But the thing is that there are a lot of people that run a $5 million company that are just, it's blood, sweat, and tears. And then, there are people that are building their companies strategically in the way that we teach, with our scale up method, and helping people to really work smarter, not harder, and to have a more scalable model and a team managed company. And so then you're able to scale up to that 50 million mark or beyond so much faster because, like we've been talking about, you're getting out of the way, and everybody is super clear on what those North Star metrics are, what you're reaching for in every area of the companies, and everyone is aligned behind the vision. So you don't have people knocking into each other. You don't have all this drama going on. You don't have a revolving door with your team or your customers. And so everybody is moving forward, and you have this centrifugal force or this flywheel that starts to happen. And, at that point, you really are not in the day-to-day of the company anymore. It doesn't mean you can't be involved with your company. I absolutely love the business that we have, but I get to spend my time like being here with you and building relationships with people that will open the door for me to meet other amazing people. Maybe there is an alignment there or a joint venture partner, things like that. And yeah, so, that once you get to that level, then it's going to grow. That's why you see companies that start to get to that higher level, and then it's 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, and so on. But you've got to do it strategically. Otherwise, the business is going to tank. And even at, let's say, a $30 million level, because we've worked with so many companies over the years, we see CEOs just, I don't know how they haven't had a heart attack from the amount of stress they've put on themselves and the volume of work. And it just does not need to be that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've mentioned you've got 40 mentors and been working in this business now, running this business for 16 years. And you've got a launch coming up as well. So should we dive into that a little bit? So what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited about this because basically everything that I've been sharing with you, and this idea of it's easier to build and run a $50 million company than a $5 million company. We are doing a series called the Scale Accelerator series, and it is absolutely free. And I have created these trainings with my team, these episodes. It's 6 of them. You only need like 20 minutes a day to sit and watch these and do a little bit of the thinking process that we take you through. And by the end of this series, you're going to look at your business in a completely different way. And so we're just excited to gift this opportunity for this free training. And like I said, when you asked me earlier, why am I so passionate about this? Because I've lived it. I know the pain of it when you've hit that ceiling, but when you break through, it's really magical on the other side.
Brilliant. And you mentioned the ceiling there. So is this Is your training for any particular size company? Is it, is it a startup? Is it someone that's scaling up? Do you have to have 5 employees or 50?
Yeah, generally, if you're at the 500K level minimally, you're ready to start scaling. Up to that point, you're just trying to get customers. You're still trying to figure out your products and services and so forth. So I would say companies that are at least at the 500K level and up, 7, 8 figures. And it doesn't matter the industry because, just like if you're working with people on acquisition, it doesn't matter the type of business. Every company needs vision, cash flow, team, leadership, execution. So everything that we are sharing applies across the board.
Brilliant. Is there is there a particular place to start, if you like? Like, so if I'm sitting there thinking, oh, maybe this is for me, is there a particular question I can ask myself, or is there any way to know that it would be relevant?
Yeah, I think the first question to ask yourself is, what do I want? Where do I want to be? And you know that saying, it's not that you're not hitting your goals, it's just that your goals are too small. And I think that business owners in general think way too small because we think what we are capable of creating. And, there are many billion-dollar companies run by founders that started with absolutely nothing. One of my favorite stories is a founder his name is Naveen Jain, and he spoke at one of our events that we had. And he came from India with $5 in his pocket to the United States. And he's built $2 billion companies. And so I would just say that it is just a number, and it's the energy that we give it. And think of the volume of people that you are able to help when you're able to scale your business to whatever level that it is that you want to impact. Not only your customers, but your employees and their families, your communities. And so that's why I'm so excited about this and sharing this with those business owners that are truly, truly passionate about making a difference in the world.
Great. You mentioned thinking too small there. What are some of the other mistakes that you commonly see founders make?
Well, have you ever experienced that thought that comes up in your mind? But that doesn't work in my case. Or yeah, but I've tried that before. And, those are going to be roadblocks in your life that will keep you stuck. And just because something hasn't worked for you in the past, don't project that on the future. I was good in business. I was not so great in relationship. I, had some really interesting experiences in my dating time in my life. And I found myself in my early 40s where I had not met the one. And I had a lot of people telling me, Allison, what you want doesn't exist and you're too picky. But I refused to listen to that. And I really shut out that noise. And if I would have said to myself, well, it hasn't worked out before, and then, why try?
Mhm.
And luckily I didn't listen to that because I met my soulmate. And when I was 42, we've been together 19 years. So I think it's just the mind has a way of keeping us small because it's trying to protect us. That's just the way that we're wired. And we've got a very small percentage of our conscious mind. And, we're mostly run by our unconscious thinking that was developed when we were very young, taken from our parents' mindset and generations before. And so we have to be willing to work on that, few percentage points that feel uncomfortable in a new setting, and taking risks where we feel like we don't have something to hold on to. But I would say to overcome that is surround yourself with people that have been there and done it. Get support. Don't figure this out on your own. It actually takes a lot more courage to ask for help. Most people have a hard time doing that, especially entrepreneurs. But that's what successful people do. They don't do it alone. And I have mentors in my life still to this day. And because we're just so close to the business that we don't notice certain things. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
Brilliant. And does the Accelerator help people answer those questions? Like you have great people.
Yes.
You mentioned the mentors. How does it work? Do you get like a one-to-one mentor after this initial program? Let's go into a bit of detail there.
Yeah. So the Scale Accelerator series is simply we've created these powerful episodes. It's almost like you're watching a Netflix series, let's just say, that is training you on this method. And then we're also going to be getting on live as well. And we'll be giving you all of the information on that. We'll get on live. I'll have some of my mentor team on there as well. And so we are able to work with you directly and give you support. And then beyond that, if that is something that you're like, oh my gosh, I've learned so much, I've already applied things are starting to change, and you're wanting to get more personalized approach, one-on-one, being part of our community and things like that, you can have that opportunity. But I think it's great to do this because it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And you can just try it on and see, does this work for me? Am I aligned with this? Does it fit? And, and then you can decide what you want further from there.
Fantastic. Now we're going to have the link all over this for everyone who's watching it right now. But where are the best places to reach out to you and your team?
Yeah. So our website is pinnacleglobalnetwork.com. And you can reach us through there. I'm also on social media, pretty much on every channel. So you can direct message me from there, just at Allison Maslan. We also have our Pinnacle Global Network social media as well. So lots of places that you can reach us directly.
Brilliant. Well, I'm definitely going to sign up. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for today. I've really enjoyed it. Any final words for the people watching?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I really love this conversation. And I love the work that you all are doing as well in helping customers acquire other businesses and so forth. I think it's brilliant. I would just say that if you're really passionate about what you're doing, just keep walking towards it every single day and don't let anyone tell you that it can't be done.
Brilliant. Great way to end it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.